Start on my big six. We remove all the girls, logistics. You want here top speed, Olympics. Yo, what up, people? It's your boy Natalie, and I'm watching HRE TV, man. Keep it locked. Badman operator.
Hello, guys. It's your girl Pamela Odame Watara, and I just want to recommend HRE TV for you guys for all your latest interviews. Just stay tuned at HRE TV. I love you all, guys.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching me live on HRE TV. HR, His Royal Majesty. Oh my goodness, I love the name of this TV. HRE TV. Oh my goodness. Just catch us live on YouTube. Just go there, HRE TV, and click subscribe, and then get update on everything that they put there, and then watch them also live on Facebook. When you hear the name HRTV, you are talking about television that comes from the heart. Oh, HRTV. Oh, my Tommy Mwati. Me that one say.
Good morning, children. A B C D E F G H R E H R E H R E TV. Go and watch HRE TV. Bye bye. H R his his.
Okay, Busia for your mamo aquaba biom eba time with Tatapsen and so right here on HRTV. Muso for HRFPK. Me nemo ene ba betwetwen ko bona afi de yesua ade opinion ni ba be djumede no your friend Dr. Ofori, Dr. Philip Ofori yentumi na the company so you feel good services and I say be feel good homes and actually he's one of our sponsors for this show into know it will be a good time to also for him to tell us more about and also the Nyentia also you're investing in properties in Ghana. And topic for today the property investment into know whether it's been Ghana and I say be a Kruman said no. It's very important that we understand how best to do it, and also know, as we already know, quite a bit about so I invested in Ghana by sending money back home. The trusted and the more secured way to do that at Tatapsen. But before say because no me pese aboafo so yasene ye di dwumede e bre wana so mo a o mabo ye chidom e di dwumede e bre on pejefo so koto sabo bi esi apampa so a na enye nipe na emom no eyo obi na ekukuru ndi esi o nenti omo a mekukuru time with Tatapsen esi apampa yi so a bia safa na nyina ehu anase ehwe anase etie eye feel good services adarema feel good services say wo pe adwene apomuden nimdie anase bia when it comes to motivational speaker anase mental health education bia pomechira kwai wo feel good services at gmail.com ebiom ohwe wadwene mu hu se bibia ye kama na obo ama bibia to odi no osese opa bibia odi utibeto na wasom adwon answer the mental state ni be very very stable no na say very good no or say timinya baby pa ede yeti eto it was say about building customized homes for individuals, legitimate land sales, condos and apartment of good location na Promecha Kwan 513-372-5758 and say number the correct number until share we a new flyer was so into Mamutier for the purpose of Mamutier no Ghana number this is your +233-208-149-504. Feel good homes, people much acquiring when it comes to all your condos, your Airbnbs, your apartments, your renting and your homes to buy and rent as well. South America will be market choice says ope bia obe corner akokoye wo facials and also beauty cosmetics pedicure, manicure and all the kiosks now. Look no further but Happy Glow GH. Happy Glow GH say bra, nebra ebe ma wa hofe NCP ensita. Sabi remember now when why the den say some people now obekoda adebachi na ona wetwetwe na ho na ase boja e brem no mesra ko Happy Glow ni enya ona ho kama ma wate na omore no yenya ne bibia kama ma ona afedi wo da be sori na ona ho nyina yo no to kama so aso na mesa aka obi am so say Oswald Wellness Clinic asaso asasa omu location no from Nellis to Westchester to Ohio and I said Maryland so pay baby abetimi ayewo IV and hydration and I say weight management and I say be our primary health care crampona also clinic and I miss come for amawni we busia for enyina ebiom suit papa obetimi ahye ama bibia aye kama and I say be a wedding and I say event bia wo ye bia no mesrawo may come for London Bespoke amount anyway bushia for say your wedding, say your outdoor party, or moye bibia even a year moye. The little ammonia, ebia Emma, any divorce party. To be so when your divorce party are then in the Wako to a beer friend or the ones are Ako. They try to crapple any opaymuno, Tartup Send. Tartup Send said the fastest, the secured, and the most reliable way to send money back home. As we about to speak about property investment, Tartup Send will be the best way for you to send money back home to build your property or invest in your properties. We'll talk about it as we move forward. Miss Aso Sram will be able to say, so pay baby, I will send this car ma, was so major, I wouldn't any issue. Uncle Duncan say, hey, Missika Yakoloka, and I say, Bia, Obia Bora, me apni ma, Odi Missika, na a Tartup Send. And I made sure say, Ubetima, wouldn't any issue or thinking about anybody getting in there with any fraudulent activities. A secured, fast, and reliable. Or pay Munangasa. When and I make for Ama only Webusia in Sabre Michelle, I feel about so I miss Russia video in my only Webusia for the one for your nafi the Yensha Ejumedinase. Answer the Besha said no, Mema Director David. Eddie, your welcome address. Am I? Not to say near course. Now training from last week Monday, Shia ABC in Neno. During the weekend, the good stuff, the bad. Nafi day, yeah, Chama Bibia Aikama. Medase. Dr. David, welcome, Baba. HITV, so time with Tartup Send.
Good evening, PK. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, great. 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 Good evening, PK. Thank you so much for having me again. Quick update for the so far all of this week. Obviously, we're coming to the end of the year into September. Into October, we only have 1 quarter left going to close out 2023. We have promotion coming. I mean, we said last year, Christmas actually, and we only focus on December. Into Uncle Four on December, October and November. And I said, I had drink because you'll be saying my send it to car, be at December. I don't want to send that much. So we started our Christmas promotion in October, going into all the way to December 28th. Senegal we'll have a bigger sample size and conform send it. That's one thing we're excited about. We're almost done, but we want to get the legal aspect of it. We'll button every piece of it because last time, A class send the email Manko for say you're qualified and go for back call and stuff like I said, it means they won. But your qualification doesn't mean you've won. That means you make sure I draw on home. So the latest update I want to say, we're excited to bring the year to an end. Not yet, but going into October, and we want to do promotions given out for 2023. That's one aspect of it. Two, so rate I actively have Louis, which you met when we were in Ohio, Morgana, who are actively working on it for us to get more favorable rates. You see, I know maybe because I money at them, I'm seeing as competitive rates, but we're still favorable in the market. So as that changes, we're working on it. But those are the latest updates that I have. Biometrics, that's something I'm so we're not ignoring it. As a PK ball, small video, just helping people to walk through. And we'll find a way to improve it. We've spoken to our technology team that is looking to find ways to slowly make it more easier to navigate. But outside of that, I think PK, that's the latest that I have within the past 7 days.
Yeah, that's it. So I'm such a great update, And I was a Sabre, you better call now for DNA. Feel good. I could do in Kobo now after the will be at twice. This is how in their program what we're gonna do is we'll do a quick introduction of our guest. Now after the OER now my presentation of property investment, on my presentation what's gonna happen is questions about. Into questions number, we're gonna give people the platform for them to ask questions to Mr. Or questions they to them. We need those questions because see I do more banners when we questions no man not as I said no yasa couple money and given into Mr. Please let the questions flow into we are not fit there. You be John coin, a John coin after the Tartup Send Q&A whereby or how I would with Tartup Send. Again, they be a mechanic say all the good stuff that you saw during the week. So now even if you have any suggestions or solutions that you want to throw out, then it will be a good time for that as well. And with that much we do, feel good. I'm going to say.
You what the next watch?
Nice one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, then you say. Now, you can't feel good cramp now. And I feel good homes have. What is Feel Good Homes about? And you being one of our sponsors, no. I mean, I think this is the third time I have you on the platform, right? The first one we talked about, real estate in Ghana, and then the second one we talked about mental health, and then they talked about property investment. So, tell us a little bit about Feel Good. We won't nip about what mental health. It's also looking for homes for people to have their peace of mind. So let's go ahead and conjoin that, and after that we go into today's topic.
Yo, Unia Medase, say, I can't say feel good, measure say with who I am generally. Me, Obia, me into the health space, that is profession wise, but in terms of passion and all of that, in the more real estate business wise. And and on that, Emma so I'm about mental health of myself, based on my profession. And Feel Good and also know is say a bit me ama for enya atinkapa afa wo ho. So to have that Feel Good experience all the time in every aspect of it. Say we obi a person invest, obi a person we see dan, obi a person hwe wadwuma pomodin ho asem. And I say bibi a person we are here to help you with it. With that being said, Mecca so say about Feel Good Homes now, it's a bit different kakra from mostly what you may know. And how different, and they say we try to build tailored homes. And as I say, a dynamic person we start from the conception, and we're developing through it. The other thing is when they say if we have some that we're already selling, you can be guaranteed they say the quality is really up to par. Like we make sure say everything is on point, because we want you to feel good in your space. And then see, and also say if you having a home, it goes beyond just a shelter. That is the other thing. It goes beyond just a shelter. And it is a place ura or person or person hotel. For that reason, we build with all these in mind. You see Bibiana, you see with the plan in mind, they say it has to be a space very comfortable, right? If you look traditionally over the years, the way I know Musi Dino is very different from now. And I was having a conversation with a friend of mine on here into real estate, and he was building, and I'll talk more about his also. And I was sharing with him that right now the real estate has moved to a point where living room in the company, he has a big breeze, and with time I will explain that. And he has a big kakaka because those days, we used to have large family sizes. Right now we don't, and I'll explain further as we go on. So the design, the lightning, everything when it comes to real estate, is very important, and we pay attention to all of these to make sure that we give you the best product. So generally, that is our background, and also say a bit of explanation to myself and then what I do.
Okay.
Of course, there are other businesses also, but anything you had.
Oh, and if I come up so other business. Actually, you're the same person with Happy Glow as well. Happy Glow and Oswald.
Correct.
Oswald Clinic. Okay, yeah, that's right. Correct. So tell us a little bit about the Oswald Clinic, because right now location is
right. So Oswald Wellness.
And I move updated flyers on Brian TNT and show old one be on. To put the updated one about.
Oh, sure.
Until also, I'm feeling good with the flyer and the wife. I'm feeling good with the.
You're feeling good.
Okay, thank you.
So Oswald Wellness is a holistic wellness center where we provide different range of services. There is the IV therapy, right, which is fluid. And I just said the Aqua Hospital, you see it also. But this one is not just for hydration. Your different types for glowing of the skin. We have that. We have some for hangover, right? And you've had a good night or a good day, then you need to really get back in shape and in action to get back to work or school and answer whatever. Now we have that also. Then we have the normal hydration. Okay, and it comes in different sizes and all that. Into your back with the IV therapy, and we also have Botox. And it's for medical reasons, it's for beautification, it's for our fair to us and all that. So Botox services, we also provide that. We also have the weight loss program, right? And that is the biggest selling one, the weight loss program. So we are licensed currently in the state of Ohio and Maryland. So these are the two states we are licensed in. But we'll be anywhere else, and you need the services now, or contact here, we can have a conversation about it. And then outside of that too, we do teeth whitening, right? And if you want to brighten your teeth, because your teeth is the gateway to yourself, right? And to be who are share and answer or kasa, it's the gateway to who you are. It's we also do that to enhance it. So these are among other services, microneedling and all that are what we provide. Also wellness. Then you mentioned Happy Glow. So yes, that is true. That is also based in Ghana. So we sell beauty products. So if you paid attention, I realize that most of our services, are around you as a person, right? To beautify, to enhance, to make you look good and feel good, and that is what BBI Gina. But of course, I see a chiche a dino so and also a beauty product based in Ashoma, Ghana, Accra. And we do delivery across the country. Actually, we've delivered to Europe before and then Nigeria before. Okay. Therefore, wherever the services are needed, we can deliver. So if you are going to move now, person maybe surprise you, be maybe more. Definitely, you can let us know, and then we can make that arrangement and have it delivered, and then you pay. We make life simple, right? So these, among other services, are what we provide.
All right. Yeah, that's it. Keep providing and keep coming up with different stuffs. So, I'm almost so tired. Some we are delivering on your order now. I'm for taps and send this can go to account to Ghana and more. Na Bibia and Koso.
Most definitely, that's the point I was alluding to. And to bet me, send it through tap send to us, and then we'll deliver to your loved ones. It's simple. All
right. So in that, you share property investment. Okay. I mean, since we're going to focus on Ghana, now maybe somebody may have a question. What about why not investing here in the States? Why Ghana? Into those questions may come into Becca said we are prepped towards that as well too. But we want to look at taking money to go invest in property in Ghana, and I also know creating a property for people to come and invest in it. So that two-way stream, and I've been doing both. My NTS when it comes to that. Nancy and Chebia Crap and Nana Mino ye discuss about a Dambia a Judegu Ewa Ghana. Matter of fact, it happens in the neighborhood that you grew up in. Okay, let's talk about, because I think this is a perfect way to segue into why are some properties expensive? Why are some properties so cheap? And it comes into that. So investment, if I say we are invest in that property now, Nisikano, if for best here, I shit and I say, so will he therefore he will come back. So with the money therefore the money will come back. We want to understand all those things, Let us know the different type of investing in the property and also having a property and having somebody coming to invest, and I say having both. Take my entire one, I'm not for the one by one. That's it.
Okay, picking me that's it. Me shall say FNC. Why Ghana? Well, building few honum na fambra the different kinds. And you rightly said it earlier on. The first time we talked about investment in Ghana. We looked at locations, right? We divided Accra into 4, and we looked at the various locations. Which one will most likely give you higher returns by property prices around whichever area. But then, and I share with the question of why Ghana? Me to US, me to Ohio. Okay. Now, so share property investment in US and so on, and I say diaspora and so on. It is not bad. It's not bad. You can hit well. But mommy will say a couple of questions in terms of investing in the States or England. Me pamucho oko US and I say UK, no, over the years, have you studied how our properties are appreciating? Media matepe, the housing, and as a mehupe, the crash in the housing market in the States, right? Mehu, the depreciation of property values in the States. Mehu, how the property market fluctuates in the state. Me pebusa se, so, ufi edi echi wo Ghana no. Ana se, when ifi edi, wohwe Ghana, adan ne ensase no. When se, a fall pay ana. Right? Anya hwe kra no, the least you can do is to buy a land. Miunyante se asase anase ensase da honom no depreciate in value e Ghana. Maybe the rate of appreciation may not be as you want. And even if you look at the right locations, you know, and you tell me, say, oh, your investment will be in cedis, therefore hard currency now. If you look at the right locations, those are typically sold in dollars. Therefore, as it appreciates in dollars, and therefore it doesn't affect your money. So the question of why Ghana, the point I'm making is that Ghana is also a very viable option when it comes to property investment. Very, very viable. I listened to Honorable Kennedy Japan, and it's been years ago though. And he mentioned, they said, he has properties both in the States and in Ghana. And Ghana, they demand better returns than the ones in the States, right? And I can fully understand and associate with that. Some investment in the States, yes, is good. But mepacho, don't compare apples with oranges. And to make us say Ghana and the States, and then maybe we could see some location be our state. If you also do that, then look at those similar locations when it comes to the Ghanaian market in Ghana. Okay? And you know, get like comparisons. And you know, properties in Ghana, in some instances, if not most instances, tend to be better in terms of 2 or 3 things. One, the property appreciation itself, right? Property appreciation itself. 2, you try rent, you know, at least 6 months or a year in advance. Because of that, you need to know utiminya usika boom and invest in something else. So let's say if you're charging $1,000 a month for an apartment, and then the person rents out, I draw 12,000, boom, with me the BB, right? And also no money good. Then the other thing also say apart from the rent or the returns that you get periodically, also no, over the period of time, once again, location in consideration, it really appreciates very high. And I always tell people, say, you have to choose when you enter the market, just like with any other business. Business in this saturated say a peaky rate of appreciation becomes relatively lower. And you always want to get in when the time is right. And if you're asking when is the right time, a brow stadium area, no one say the rate of appreciation is higher. Level of development is good, right? Which gives you the impression, say, rate of appreciation very good. You enter at that time, and then by the time it be peak, you can triple, simple. What am I say? Or double or triple, simple cry. But the no area no a plateau area, then of course your rate of appreciation will not be significantly higher over a relatively shorter period of time, but still you'll be good. So that is to answer the question of why Ghana met America and all that. Over the years, Mudi can buy, where they were not necessarily investing as in investing in properties. They were building houses. Difference kakra me person me making it say osinifie. It's still an investment. I'm not arguing that part. But I said me see me fie na si hono, right? But since here, we realize that most of those, built without occupying for years. And the question has become, say, I didn't mean since you or my brother, Marco Ghana, sorry, I feel Marco Abosome, now Marco Tim, then I come back. So now the trend has been, say, you build something which, if you want to occupy in the future, you build it with a plan where you can occupy in the future and also make some money out of it whilst you are not there, right? And you always have to think about that when developing. But preferences. If you choose to say there be media, I'm not interested. Me see me mansion they see or no, I go my them that is also perfectly fine. But the trend right now has really been said you build with investment in mind, so that over the years as it sits, you also make some money from it. Obisubeka said, Minyanya imagine say me kwakotena right? So I don't want like a self-compound house and I say a huge family house and I say bibisa. I want something nice and small. I say I have my own space and you have me coffee na my baby Sam said na time no baby fie na offer we aba that family dynamics in and they may pay bibi kakra bi asi hodom. And that is why we introduced the condos, right? So with the condo, they say you can buy anytime you go. You have your 2 bedrooms, 1 bedroom, studio, whatever the size that fits your need. Now, it's your one, your level of investment is not as high as building the whole and two, it gives you an entrance into the market, the property investment market in Ghana. Then you can use that as a case study. Then you use it to study the environment, the trends, and all of that. Then if you want to go bigger, it gives you the opportunity to go bigger, okay? The other, so they say, while away, you can make some kudi from it, right? So while away, you can put it on short stay, any of the platforms, and then make some money, right? So if you so choose, you have these options where you can have your property and then make some money whilst away, and then once you go, you have your thing to occupy. So these are part of the reasons why investing in Ghana is viable and is good. So now, the question of the type of build, it is very important. And who here pa say usia obepe obia onimde, someone that you can trust. The Britain has a saying said, penny wise, pound foolish, right? And I had one client always Legon Hills. We still have someone still. And wanted to do the fence wall to begin with. And my and all of that. I asked the question, I can't know Otehefa. He lives so by wayside right, which is like the other side of town, 2 on drive, so the means of transport and all. And I'm say, so if you use my contractor to build it, you inconveniencing the man to come all the way all the time, right? And 2, only workers even in that area, and this point is very important. So with the workers, if you eco site and it applies anywhere, right? The treatment that the community gives those workers, is different from when you use a worker from the locality. I tell you what, it's true. Because all Obiba Hodoma, they don't get the same treatment as Obia or Taye Juma or area more. Even with the you can use the word landguards, but Sanko for no Oboba rounds, right? Even with them, no.
I don't want to be into the word landguard.
That locality. What's it?
I don't want to be into the word landguard.
It's an illegality.
As of right now, not the now.
It's been since Omo passing the new Land Act.
Oh, I see. Thanks for the education.
So it's an illegality. Landguard is an illegality now. So really, you can't use that word, right? Like referring to someone or a group of people. Right.
Yeah, that's it.
But then you go for mobile round, for Kusun, and I say digging fee and all of that, yes, you if you are from that area now, it helps. Okay. So that is the other thing in terms of who you should be. And then the other thing also they say, everybody says so ujina hono. Pike ujina hono. And I say Messi Nikacho say, oh, me plaster one room. Do you know how many bags of cement are in the plaster one room?
Oh, we are not catching
Oh, you should. Debbie, I was just making a statement.
Oh, okay,
So,
okay.
person answered, yeah.
Because if you have 4 bags, send one side be a better 1 bag. And I'm saying that.
So, when you're bonus, that's not how it works. And you know, say, when you're versed in the requirements, right? And also say, how many materials does water, right? Ubet make na hodoma. Uni umbeka with the simple. And no crap on FN because they don't feel bad. Ujina hodom and they use cement, you know, in your eyes. But then really, no, yeah, yes, I did use you know. Ujina hodoma ne paint bag, paint bucket, you know, ira. And who are you to ask? Because you were right there, right? And the no crap on myself more balance, it makes it easier. But when you use a pro who really knows the ins and outs, what does what, and can quantify and all of that, now they save you on those wastages, and really no. Wait, my friend, say, Sessikano, and I will do it. I'm a wait my ear to my palm. What's my say? And also no, the mixing crumple. How many bags to a cement? You are a novice. You are just there to supervise. So when you see the right one,
how many bags to a cement?
How many headpans and also say wheelbarrow to a cement? Sorry.
Okay.
Right.
In total, so like how many headpans in terms of sand, you know, any cement, you know, nearby make some
sand okay. Correct. Right. And you know how many bags of cement to a headpan or a wheelbarrow, right? Whether you're concrete and I say a mortar.
Regular mortar.
And you know, right. If you really don't know all of these now, but they'll do a work job for you, and then until say it starts cracking, and I say leakages leakages and I also say if you know I started a pafa and you know all of that, you know, happens. The other thing is when they say I just say we only done see what any dance, right? You have to really look at the neighborhood, you know. Even with the design conception, you have to consider what it is in the neighborhood. When I see dying, when I see I fully understand. But sometimes you want to build to where it fits into the neighborhood. Therefore, the architectural design, maybe or the ube position dino crampono, it affects it. The kind of finishing now ube use because you want to complement or be ahead of the game. Okay, I mean, I say you want to top the area, but you want to be ahead of the game because I feel for so ABC. And you want to be ahead to where Omudu basis for now, you also will not be a cake so soon. Oh, so you want to consider all of that. And of course, if you don't have all this knowledge, you just go and put up something. Then really no, it doesn't match up. So that these are part of the reasons why you want to go with a pro or someone who knows what they're doing. Say, yeah, you can really get a good deal. The other thing is when you say, so when you invest here, you also want to go in, if at all possible, you want to go in during the build stage, right? See now, then you go in for various reasons. One, ASA is most of the time cheaper to buy off plan, most of the time. What that means is that me, the developer, or me, the I'm sharing the risk with you, the investor, right? And the risk means that you have to wait for me to finish. That's the only risk. It doesn't mean that means that's not the point. But I'm sharing the investment on the time value of money. I'm sharing that with you. So as you pay throughout the build period, I can give you like a significant discount, right? And that is what is done across real estate. The other thing is also that you get to supervise what is being done. And to know the emphasis that we need the woman crampo and so I said you pay for money because here new crampo the said doctor see action abeng. Oh, and to know say what you need the end also woman crampo no, at least you are able to say we mean penny say we can be penny say. There be design it to say there, but inside I said one for light to be in has say mama made the best idea. What am I say? So you are able to contribute to the build, the design, and all of that, as it goes on. So that is the other advantage also. The next thing is because you bought at off plan, most of the time, not even most, almost all the time, if not all the time, but I'm in the health field, so you don't usually use definite words. And to make I said almost all the time, it will appreciate significantly in value after build, right? After build. And say auto off plan at 80,000. And yes, we see within 2 years. I already bet me 10,000 plus, depending on the location on it, right? It's always flexible.
Then they are off plan.
So off plan they say a bra yes, no what. Okay. So as a developer, I'm selling the concept to you. Oh, and that way, me basic 3D nini area nini. This is how it's going to look as. Say the bay, right? This is how it's going to look at. And you see, you best start maybe September. September. Maybe you best start December. We'll build within 2 years, right? So you are building or you are buying off plan. What was it? And that way, it gives you a good insight into what is going on, how I shall say the conception to birth. And it says, or buying you are there throughout the whole period. No one has a tea further, right? And when you more, you so that is another advantage also. And finally, as I was saying, by the time I bury, net property value, a cost. So if even would Madam Baku also develop it? No at them. Oba say Obertoa and also what no assistant in no if you on we move like Obekwa say you finish the next one now only problem, right? So we see this area next will be banners or crack cash. Next as a developer, I don't have any more to sell at that location. I can come to you and tell you say Obisu you feel Overton at this price. If the price is right, you sell it. Missing brother because everything is also when the price is right. Right? If the price is right, you can sell it and go on to the next one. If you are not too married to the location, the specific location, or whatever else is involved there. And it's a good investment that way. Right? Then the next one, I think it's the last lawyer nearby now Okasano. One of our ladies asked it. I can say Oba, but I'm not too sure. It's Oba. I mean, that is the name. Oba. Okay. Obusa about property prices.
As like the Dinya Oba, but you're such Oba.
Right. I just don't mean say female needing Oba. Okay. Obusa about property prices and why it's so expensive in some areas or in Ghana in general. So there are various reasons. Reason number one, ASF, most of the materials we use, especially for the finishing, Ghana we import. And of course, import duties and all of that. So this will the profit also. And all of that. Those dynamics in it. One, Emmanuel Money day. The second thing, they said the taste of the average Ghanaian is also very high right now. And as I said earlier, a home is not just a shelter right now. It is a place of comfort, it's a place of beautification, like all of that is included. And if I use very basic finishing onto even from the tiles now with to the hardware and to the toiletries, you want some standard. For me to meet those standards, I wasn't used to certain materials that appealing to you, for which comes at a cost. So that is one reason why properties are generally expensive in Ghana. The other reason,
before you go to the other reason, not all properties are expensive though. We've also seen properties whereby
I mean generally.
Okay, yes. But right. Again, I wanted to ask you a question. I wanted to ask you a question before you go to your second reason. The question was in the case I don't know if you will be sitting. For this, I will see 2-bedroom I say.
Depending on the location.
It's Legon Hills.
Okay, so right now we're doing one Hills for 80,000. If you pay within 3 years, 75 if you pay within 2 years. Okay. Which is almost complete.
Right. But Obisu Bekajo said, Makohumbi, East Legon Hills. Almost been for 50,000 and 60,000 Embra MJ Sardino. How do you compare that to your property? Because Obisu I say, okay, we'll say property is generally expensive, but Obisu could will be 60,000. What then all the year more attractive than it, you know, while the price is being the most attractive figure right now? Because now a lot of people know what you're saying when it comes to all the ingredients, cement bag, do saying the farm, do saying mix him saying send a quality na standards. And I can say never not old be yeah with the finishing no because you want it to be attractive no. Or born no you say wakwada. But is there a consequence to just as a one toffee wakwada? And you know what difference is that with yours no?
Okay, so even if I say hills on them. Some properties are cheaper. That is very true. I know a couple of them. But what I would say, they say, even hills, no, you were different parts of hills.
Yes.
What am I saying? Even within Laboni, there is like the prime of Laboni. Oh, and only one factor. The second thing
is
oh yeah, and then Charlie extension. Branded. You know that is one part, right? Which part? No, secondly, there are other dynamics. Sebi. Remember how be in the business, what is in it, right? But
I feel you have to say it because this is why people are on there to listen to you because you may save somebody from getting themselves in a bigger issue, whether legal issue or a big your friend is saying problem because this is the thing yeah who are dying I'm pretty sure say two things that the entire Ghanaian populace know and who this week a flood after for them okay so location just like you were saying you know location wise is very very important. Secondly adanya ebuegu form a whole nice beautiful story building look beyond so it's important for you to say and you be adwuma na ogu no enye wo de enye ye ba betra ha ba beka say enye. It's at the end of the day, you know, and we are not calling any company out, but we want our viewers to understand the need for them to make sure say their money is worth what they're using it for.
Okay, so now, point number one, that is more ethical for whatever you believe in. Some are using real estate to wash money, therefore they can afford to sell cheap, right? I don't know what hold on. So I'm not going to question. As a buyer, you just want to buy your house. You don't care how they do it. I understand. But I'm just saying, say, on an ethical, you know, some uses real estate to wash their money.
Hence, into the 9 year cheaper.
Maybe a hard earned money. And, you know, of course, I can make it cheaper than the how much it cost me. And only a one. The other thing also, yeah, the quality of build. I've been to some sites, and actually, my name is Senior Brother, who is also into real estate. Like, he is more good than I am. He's also into real estate. My name is site tobacco, right, of a developer our hills. Now, we went to one no more year, Pentima Metopa, Shen. Then we went to the No Musi. Then we were like, okay, now we can see why they probably can sell cheaper. Because Osha the Omusi, no, and how it's done now. You can clearly you don't have to be even real estate to see that. Chalewa actually the one of the spirit level. And even block is your name fro. One of which hey, you know the build quality, no, and so questionable. And as you were saying, you know, we both say after this you want na tete buffer. And I said to you want man after that started a puffer or a sugar. And I said we cracks in major places, ACC. And you know, you may go for Pentima, and that is part of why if you build off plan, at least if even the builders, you know, and you crumple now, you have an insight into how it's done. Or we next or one period and you just want to sell out, you sell, you move on to the next one. But some builders, you know, their way of building is questionable, right? So that is part of the reason
what causes initial you did talk about leaking in what causes those major leakings and leakages, you know, in building.
So what's it right now? No, one huge one there, the fact that we're doing more hidden roof now, right? Developers are doing more hidden roof now. And so hidden roof, no, say only parkour nim year do any money who? And right now we do a lot of POP. So what happens is they said the POP will soak up the issue for some time. So you don't see the leakages right away. But then after a while, no, after the POP now started, now started why. Then after the now ceiling buffer. So heavy roof, no, yeah, one huge one. The other one also, yeah, the windows, no. Oh, so we one, yeah, frame, no, very tighter. In fact, a buffer horn, right? Into the buffer horn, once a bed don't wall, no, then it starts messing it up, right? The other one also, yeah, Uncle Pomeyu, the other one also, yeah, the fact that the location, and in this case, flooding in general, the location, Wakakoton or Pebre, Hamatan season, right? And then Hamatan season, of course, everywhere is dry. Then it starts to rain, and you realize they say, a flood prone area, right? And so at that point, in Shotobiana, so of course, a far so that is another thing. The other, so say the whole area may not be flood prone, but the way I almost see what dino, a tarfeb, okay, a tarfeb, and what I mean by that is it is not elevated enough. I've seen
foundation
some,
and said
correct, foundation is not raised enough, and Ubet Messi dining there.
Hold on. A Japan say, who picture now, yet to low when that low at the other so now. A dime you know who was so the door, and a hidden roof no. Obusa question be, Tina Mepisa can be here no now I come back to. My name is Ohundia.
Yeah, so to further explain one, your gable roof, like your roof, you go on my Ujina Bonti, Ujina a chair, roof Nankasa. Ujina a chair, who say roof Nini. Ya board biana kosho and ya didn't chance in guso. Okay. So that one no honum. And the original honum in chance. So the roof is hidden. To say the one pictures is so both of it in a hidden roof. Actually, the left one gives you the top elevation, into which means roof no no hidden roof.
Okay.
So I was making a point also about
what can we leak it on?
Yeah. Me patcho. Okay. So I was making the point about say issue Ebahono, right? Yes, it's the same as issue. So say issue Ebahono no. What ma omusia, okay? The elevation of the highest point in the neighborhood is not taken into consideration. So for now, you may build and think and say, oh, dino was so, right? But then somebody no more pick elevation now. Then you realize they say a final abastro and a cafe.
And the serious flooded on.
What was it? Hey, and the area itself may not be a flood prone area, but because of the way our year no what I know about aka family CC and no ama uyi gutter no crampo a few honum they took when na it cannot fall into the gutter on the main road because CC no order no aka fam and a kwan abasho what they say hey into the max say so to area more no then a more also a begu honum more, which also affects your house.
Okay. Now, what about plumbing? Because I heard you say plumbing causes a lot of leakages.
Yes, plumbing also does, and in most cases, that is also an issue. And most people do and run all their plumbing through the walls, right? Through the walls. Therefore, if there's a leakage, one, it's very difficult to find out where it's even leaking. And two, you have to get into all the walls before you can find out what is going on. Well, and, yes, plumbing also does if you don't use the right materials or if anything is to break in there. So right now, most of the developers tries to run the pipes outside, except some pipes have to go through in the walls, no two ways. But what they can, they run the main pipes in our bonte. Then you have easy access to it when you need to service it.
Okay, so then we can. I think we can now go back to your point of things that people need to look for when it comes to the pricing wise. Why some are expensive than the others? No. Then after that, please with all your questions, we're gonna call you guys for you guys to ask all your questions. Dalton, I see you have a question. The reason why we answered Uncle Paul's question was because it wasn't. It was a quick one to what he was talking about, and it was a test message. So. And we have to do that. So basically, can you give us the price relative? No, then after that, I'll ask a couple more questions. Then we'll just open up for others to talk. Then we can take it from there.
Sorry, what's the price? Well, if you are not line, if you choose
price relative. Now, Austin said why some other houses are expensive and others are cheaper. No.
Okay, so the disparities. Now, I was talking about the fact that depending on even the location, there is a prime part of that location, and there's also the extensions, right? So that is one. Two, the build quality is also another factor, and then three, people are using real estate to wash their money. So really, it comes down to that also. So I think those were the points that I was making about pricing.
Okay,
and
so
we went on to.
I was going to ask you. So, why should one invest? I mean, I know you talk about why not Ghana and all that stuff. So, why should one go out? So, let's say for instance, in your company, right? Can people invest in your company? I don't want to build in Ghana. I don't want to do anything when it comes to building. I just want to invest. How do I invest in your business and make money?
So for now, we're really not looking for investors.
No, I'm not talking about you per se, but people going out there to invest. Why should one go out there and invest in real estate business?
Oh, okay. So, Charlie, so the thing is, now there is a saying that there is only one real estate, right? Now there's only one real one, which is real estate, and which is builders. For various reasons, one, it is easier to manage, relatively easier. As we said at the beginning, we do have a shop in Ghana that we run, okay? And with that, it's a bit more difficult. The dynamics, the people, the petty trading part of it, the mechanism you have to put in place to make sure say you get your money and all that, it's way more. Some people say it's Madam I don't feel it. So it's there. That is one. Two, I rent maybe if you're doing long lease, I rent yearly. I know that my rent is 1,000 Ghana cedis or $1,000 a month. If it's occupied for 12 months, multiply, give me my money. It's plain and simple. So that is much easier, right? So if you even have a property manager, when the property manager tells you that it's occupied,
because
somebody wrote that.
Okay, I understand. That's fine. But this is when you have a property that you are investing in. But I'm talking about me coming to invest in someone else's property. I want us to handle that part first. Then after.
Oh. Gotcha. Okay. So now, if you want to invest in someone's property, you first of all you have to look at what they're doing, their track record, if they are really trustworthy, because you put in your money somewhere that real estate is not cheap. Let's even begin with that. Real estate is not cheap. So if you're going to invest in it, it's going to be something reasonable for it to make sense. So if you put in your money in an investment like that, you have to make sure that they are reputable, and I don't mean like their size, right? But it could be small, credible. But they're very reputable. They have good name, right? And then you also have to establish some level of trust with any business. I know that somebody will tell me that we don't do business with trust, but you cannot also do business without trust, right? So you have to trust that individual. That person has a good name or a reputation, and then you can go with the individual. In terms of returns, real estate returns, depending on which one you are doing, typically it's not an overnight returns. Oh, it's not an overnight returns. It takes some time for you to recoup. And to know me patcho when you dey me connect 3 months ma ko gi music because how long would it even take us to finish the building? Right? Unless that you are investing your money with me and I tell you that in 3 months I will repay you at this interest rate. And then you are giving it to me. You are not being part of the business. But then if you're going in as being part of the business, it is not a 1 month, 2 months kind of thing. Right? It's more so a long-term kind of gig. So those are some of the benefits. But the interest rates are significantly good. The interest on related investments are significantly good. Which goes to the question of why is it expensive? And I think we were explaining that earlier. Part of why it's also expensive is the time value of money. The time value of money. And I'll give you this example. A very good friend of mine developing an estate tower, right? At least since I knew that he was doing that estate, it's been more than 2 years. Yeah, before COVID. So it's been more than 3 years, right? I mean, who saw it? So, and I was part of it significantly, so I know some kind of details. And then I'm going to share one, but they went to me share and they said, if I've invested maybe $500,000 into the land and clearing of the land, demarcating and all that, right? That is 500,000 3-4 years ago. Now I have to go on and then prepare the place. Still, to foundation be out, prepare the place and all. Maybe about 200 SR. And so I started a market, I started foundation this annual man, right? And by the time I was a developer, what started, why now what drew Pempelswa, he can sell, he or she can really sell the properties, then it's been over a good period of time. So the investment that you've made, let's say if you bought treasury bills, and within the year, you would have made some returns, right? So some people may argue, say, oh, that way I could build it with this amount. Yes, you could, but would you have the other things that it comes with? That is one. Two, don't forget that PK me pacho me basis here.
Okay.
Right.
I think he's on call at work, so probably get some patients calling. But basically, I think I see all your questions coming through. We're gonna ask all the questions and make sure that they are answered. We're gonna make sure that all your questions are answered, as well as. Let me take this opportunity to also tell you, make sure you let your friends and family know the best way and the safest way to send money back home is TapTap Send. Please use TapTap Send to send money back home. TapTap Send is available in USA and Canada, Europe, UK, and also goes all the way through African countries as well as some European countries too. TapTap Send is a way money is transferred. Fast, secure, reliable. When you send money back, make sure you use the promo code PK. Doug, Waba.
All right. Yes. Sorry, it's here for duty course. So I was making a point of the course, right? So he's done all of that, clearing and all that. His is like much bigger scale. So now this is the other thing. Utilities are as a bus site you the developer have to take care of it. And for those that argue, say, oh, I can build this for maybe 200,000, but then they are selling it for 300. It's because somebody invested to bring those utilities. And I'll tell you this. So, who developing in an area where there's no light, roads inaccessible, the government of Ghana is not going to develop those roads for you. So, main road in the motorway, we've been carrying for how many years now? And extension there now what am I saying? So now you have to do that. We had to get electricity to the site. Now, for him to get the electricity to the site, he had to buy a transformer, do all of that, bring the poles and all that, right? And in doing all that, ECG4 charging 1 million Ghana cedis to get it. And if I'm to put all this infrastructure in place, for which to make it a livable space for you. Oh, then I have to factor all of this into my pricing. And yes, then I can't even break even. So that is the other thing. Because people sometimes compare with the States, or even in the States, a $300,000 house would be X, Y, or Z. But I tell you what, though, within the last 3-4 years, a $300,000 house really does not compare to a $400,000 house in Ghana.
Fact.
At least in the part where I live. A 2-bedroom small house is now going for low 300s, mid 300s, right? New built. Whereas in Ghana, for a house to be around 300, 400, you have a soft compound, 3-4 bedrooms, good space, good living area. And that comparison, in my opinion, really doesn't fit. You can argue with me on that one, and I'm fine with it. The other thing also say, in PNP, subconsciously we just feel that it's Ghana, so it has to be cheaper. But unfortunately, it's Ghana, it's prime, therefore it's more expensive. If you don't think Ghana is prime, that is another argument. That one will not have here. But that is the fact of it. These all affect why property prices are high in Ghana. Developers go through a lot. Okoje permit, OCC assassin, so only a year for only way moko, oh yeah, paperwork, which may take you a year or so. You put in all that money into the ground and into the area now where it doesn't account for next to nothing, right? Or it accounts for next to nothing. So you're doing all of that, and of course, somebody has to pay for it. Okay, so that is why sometimes people may argue, say, area where assassin board, then just a land to build a house. And so, yes, it's because some people or someone have put in all that into it to where you want to stay there. And yes, all options. Wait, it may be cheaper, right? But then you want to stay at a prime area. You pay prime amount for prime area. Once again, if you want to even compare to the States or England, location is key wherever on earth when it comes to real estate. Therefore, if you want a good location, you pay a good price. If you want relatively a cheaper location, you get what you pay for. On this note,
as well as quality.
Definitely, most definitely.
So let me ask you a question before I bring in everybody's question, right? So in this case, will you advise one to venture in investing in other people's property, or rather build a property and rather invest in the property that they're building themselves?
So investing in someone's business is not really a bad thing. That is the question, right? So me investing in someone's business.
Yeah, which one would you advise on? Where people need to invest?
It depends on your investment style. Some people don't want the headache. They want hands off. So if that is your style, really, I can't tell you, say, go and invest yourself, because it comes with some level of headache, right? If that is your style, you better off say what music I know the movie. You patch on music and me invest. Maybe you can do it per property, you can do it per whatever period of time, whatever transaction you do with per company. Okay, then you just stay back. They do whatever decision I'm going to decide, and I'm splitting what you see, baby. Hands off, no head, less headache, right? But then if you also want that wants to get your hands dirtier, then I would definitely advise you say you do something yourself. As I said, if you want to test the market, go small, invest, like buy a 1-bedroom, a 2-bedroom in a good location, run it for some time, study the area. It will give you a very good idea of the dynamics, right? But then, of course, it doesn't give you the building process. It's mostly the business part. But then it's all important.
So let's say, for instance, I got $500,000, which I don't. But let's say I do. What if I do? Anyways, let's say I have $500,000. I'm like, okay, let's go build a 3-bedroom. I don't know what's it because we need to house here. Let's go build.
Yeah. I don't know if I do, whatever if I do.
Like this, go build $150,000 house, 3-bedroom house, semi-detached. Build 3 of those, okay? With the goal, say each one of them is gonna cost about $150 to build those, and then maybe $50,000 in the also known as for like miscellaneous expenses, right? So that's 500,000. When I'm expecting 3 semi-detached, I've given you the money with the hope that you're gonna sell each house for about 200,000 or 250, depending on the area. So the $500,000 goes into investment. You end up selling this house for like, for the purpose of this argument, 200,000 each. So we walk away with 600,000, right? But 500,000 went into the house. Do you think I'll be able to recoup? Because you also have to benefit, because we will see dino. So you also have to get a profit share. Maybe it's 70-30. So that means I'm getting out of the 100,000, I'm getting 70,000. You're getting $30,000 for building this within the period of 1 year. Because right? So within even 6 months, you can build those houses, because when the money is there, the workers are working 247. Because you and I have seen so build 3 months is shoulder. It's possible. So if that case, do you think it's a good money returns? 500,000 fetching me $70,000 in 6 months to a year, and now you think say the profit margin is low, and I'm greedy.
I'll tell you, say to begin with, your margins will be higher than that.
Huh?
To begin with, your margins will be higher than that.
So I'll get more than 70,000.
You can.
Oh, explain that. Let me enjoy the conversation. Let us enjoy the conversation.
And now I guess you do have the money.
I don't have 500,000.
So what I mean is, right? Once again, it comes down to the location.
Mm-hmm.
But then, let's say if you buy a land for 100,000, and then you get a good size, right? And I say $80,000, which means it's a good location, or like a okay location, a good, relatively good. So 80,000, you use 20 to do the documentation, prepare the land and all that, right? Or the 400 SC, something decent, okay? With such a location, if you do 3 bedrooms, right now the average cost of such houses are around 250 to 80,000.
250 to 80.
Right, so it's not really 200. Yes, 250 to 80. Some even go 300, 350, depending on the area and how much you can get. But for 1 bedroom, of course, you'll not get a house. Like if you buy in a house and land at 80,000, those areas, maybe I will 300 also, right? 300,000. And you can do so maybe 220, 250. If you stay with 250, then really that is times 3 more, 50,000 times 3, right? So your margins can be better.
So 250 times 3 will be $750,000 for the house, and 500,000 was invested. Right. So that you make 70% of the 250.
Right, if that is the term.
And this can be built in how many months or years, if the money is ready? Okay.
So realistically, there is a property that.
So you're saying somebody can make $175,000 within a year or 6 months if they have $500,000 ready to roll.
Most definitely, and if you are able to get the buyers either off plan or right after build, definitely.
Okay. All right. So finish with your story, and then let's go into the questions and have everybody ask their question.
Oh, okay. We were asking about duration, and I was going to make a point. Say, Mr. Brother Namika said he's into real estate. Build a property at Hills. Of course, he has the capacity. Built it within 12 months. It's 9 units or 10 units. I think it's 9 units, right? Finished within 12 months. Let it out. It's like somewhere sold. Everybody got their keys. Business done. So it's 3 with a penthouse. All done. Thank you, ready.
4.
So, still with your crazy.
6, 8. Yeah, 10 units.
Yeah, 10 units. All right.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So now, first question that I have for you. And I am math for 10 units and I hear you between your.
There be a Beatrice question.
No, I have this question over here. Hold on, Beatrice question. Zoom. I want to start from those that are listening. They are not on WhatsApp. They're not on Facebook. They're listening. So, question came from WhatsApp. Or say, ask him what state inspection are done during groundbreaking to issuing a CO. I don't know what a CO is.
Certificate of occupancy.
Okay. Producer, apparently producer knew what it is, so now I said he said it quicker than you.
Of course, he should know.
Oh yeah, because he is what like contractor for what PNG, so he should know better.
With the
The better wash a helmet is what you Anyways, what you what first say what state inspection are done for those?
So we're talking about Ghana, right? I just want to clarify.
The people that we're talking about Ghana, that is especially BND.
Oh, WWE.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
The way you said we are talking about Ghana, right?
Yeah, because I wanted to clarify because US is a bit different from Ghana. Then, US again, there are too many stages of mobile different specials and all that. But with Ghana, there no one architect is signed, right? And then because Ghana, no conformity is a menu hold because it's a bit. So what it is, they say first of all, it's a permit to build. Until you apply, they do the inspection, they test the soil, EPA comes around, all of that. You're supposed to do all that, right? Until we are no what your permit, and most cases come to the site to do all that. No your permit, Now all you're drawing in all that now, an architect signs. An architect all sign. It is more so like ordinary Tarechi. So you are building on his certificate or his reputation. So that architect more so is responsible for doing the inspections, making sure you're using the right materials. The civil engineer is involved, all of that. Into those pros, as licenses so now the year man. Oh. So typically the state will not come say where we foundation, I be inspecting and wait me out of blocks. Now we blog I be inspecting and we flow. The state typically doesn't do that. But then the architect and the build environment for no, or more license now they have to ensure that you're doing the right thing and all.
Okay, all right. Oh no, the next question is what is done to verify that the building is well dried in?
The building is what?
Well dried in, and also producer, what does that mean? Well dried.
I said almost in a year.
Leaks.
Oh, talk about leaks, like leaks wise, though. Like that's what the question comes with, like well dried in.
Oh, if you buy in, buyer beware, right? I think that's the legal term they use. Buyer beware. Also, idea it is your responsibility to make sure that you've done the due diligence. So when buying, then you can go.
No. I think it's during the process of building it. During the process of building it, how do you, the builder, know that the workers are like the building is up to par when it comes to like. Not subject to leaks and stuff like that.
Oh, that is why you use the right builders. So you use someone who knows what they're doing, right, and have a good reputation. And that way, they making sure that everything is being done. At some point, it's being tested. If anything has to be corrected, we're correcting it right there and then.
Okay.
And using the right people with good skill sets and all.
All right.
We'll ensure that.
So we're gonna go to Facebook. All 3 different platforms on Facebook and ask those questions. Then after that, we're gonna finish up with Zoom. Then we have Dalton speak. Then after Dalton, whoever wants to speak, please make sure your hand emoji is up that you can speak. So Facebook, Oberima Ochimamba says watching you from Germany, and Foster Osakuto said Ballfire. Give me shares and feel good. DB Mami DB that's from Krestos.
Bring money.
Okay.
Krestos
Ado said good evening. Feel good. Phil, good to see you again. And this is coming from Kwame Chemfi Major. Then also Krestos, feel good to hear from you. Hope to catch up with you soon. Okay, that is feel good. Next feel good. Next Kennedy Japono. I don't know what he means by that, but okay.
I don't know.
All right, then let's go to the next one, which is the HITV platform, and let's go read our questions from there as well. So with HITV platform, Just a second. Now let's go to Tatapsen. So Tatapsen, we have 2 comments over there. Esikafor Hene Papa Usulane says Dr. Feel Good. This guy. That is from. Actually, he's also another builder as well. Matter of fact, he was supposed to come on this show and Ojanija Honor. But don't worry, we'll catch him another time, whenever the time is right. All right, so let's go to Zoom. Zoom. I was almost about to say my favorite part, but all the platforms are my favorite part. So let's go to Zoom and see these questions over here. So, you already answered Mr. Champo's question. Beatrice said secret roofing, right? You said yes. Rohan, okay, we already taking care of that. So then Beatrice comes again to say, I joined late, but just wanted to ask if the secret roofing is advisable to do. Can you answer that one for us, please?
It's more for aesthetics. Oh yeah, because of it. So yes, it's advisable if you know what you're doing, right, and can do it right. It's advisable. There's nothing wrong with it. But wouldn't do it the doing money?
Okay. And Collins comes with what are prices for the what are prices for your houses? 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, and 3 bedrooms.
Right. So currently, what we do have available is 2 bedrooms at East Legon Hills. It's on Captain Street, fairly well developed area, and that is going for the $80,000. 2 bedrooms, finished, not furnished. Right. So that is what we do have available right now. But as I always say, we also develop custom homes. It's, if you have a land or if you want us to buy the land for you to build and everything, sure, we can do that. And once done with this project, if we have good number of people who are interested, then we can develop another one. The lands are already available. It's more so.
How many units? How many units do you have available for sale right now?
Right now we have 2.
And how many units in total were there? Good of you.
It's 10 units total. So there's studio, there's 1 bedroom, there's 2 bedrooms. On that, we don't have 3 bedrooms.
Okay, and all the 10 units, asamanaka 2 pay.
2.
Until the was up for because of good view. All right.
Yep. That's it.
Now.
I'm
very good. So the next question that I want to ask you, then we call Dalton. Dalton, if you're ready, get ready. You're speaking next. Is just in case someone buys, like Collins, Collins buys the house, the apartment, right? Can you help him run the Airbnb renting? Do you have a system whereby you can,
definitely.
And he'll get his returns out of it?
So we do have property management in place where we can run it for you. You stay hands off. We give you your accounts every quarter or every 6 months or every year, whichever one we agree on. And then you take your money, you reinvest.
How do they take their money? Did they take the money like every month or?
No, either every quarter, every 6 months, or every 1 year.
Okay. So what about, let's say for instance, right? I'm Collins. I got the 2 bedroom from your place, and you are helping me do the Airbnb part of it. But I'm coming to Ghana, and that's my only source of residence. I want to block it for that month so that nobody uses it. Oh,
yeah,
but
block it.
Because we can't say 3 months, 6 months, I thought maybe it's within the 3 months now. I can't have access to the room because.
No. What I mean is that is the period with which we do the accounts, right?
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And then. Yeah, you take your money.
So in this period of 3 months, if I used 1 month out of it, you only give me the money for the 2 months. If somebody booked it,
we use it for when it was occupied.
That's what I'm saying. If somebody booked it.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. So if you book it for 1 month, of course, then why would you have hooker?
Okay.
Right? So we advertise, we do all of that as it's occupied, and you will see when it's occupied. It's on platforms, so. It's easy to see, say, okay, my room is occupied. We're taking $35 a night, and therefore, or $60 or $80 a night. Therefore, you can sit and do the math also. It's very easy. there's no.
Phil, I forgot about my YouTubers. There was a comment over there. That's why I have a good producer. Thanks for letting me know that. So welcome. It says remember to guard your. Richard. No, Richard says. Any discount like 20K. Emmanuel Domako said, I like this program. Then Richmond Apia says, any discount like 20K. Why do I feel like I know who this person is? I don't know. Just by the question that was asked. Any discount, like, do you have any discounts that you offer? Not like 20K, but do you have any
Yeah,
discounts?
we do have discounts. We do have discounts.
Okay, but not like
Don't get me
20K.
wrong,
Hey, 20K subenya.
PK, so watch it.
Okay. All right. So, Dalton, please unmute yourself and ask your question. And after that, Collins has his hands up. Then Collins will be the next to speak. Dalton, thank
Yeah.
you for holding up the hands
Before
that
he
long.
asks, right?
Okay, great. Yeah,
Chief,
thanks for
before
taking
you
my
ask,
question.
I also want to
Dalton,
say
hold
that
on. Dalton,
we
hold
have
on.
Units available.
What? Phil, repeat it again.
Okay, I was saying is we do have units available for anyone who wants to travel to Ghana or need a space in Ghana. So we do have spaces currently at Pokwase. There are some at Boche, Adjegano, and then East Legon Hills, right?
Okay.
So Pokwase, Boche, Adjegano, and then Hills. If you need spaces at any of these places, you can look up Roshala Homes or Feel Good Homes, which is a sister company.
What about airport?
Yes. There's one unit at airport also, which that you can have 3 bedrooms or 1 bedroom. You can do split share. So, yes, and
Okay.
airport.
All right, cool. Dalton, over to you.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, thanks for taking my question. This is a follow-up from the last Zoom call where we talked about buying property. So it's about the ownership and lease. So from what I understood, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, everything in terms of ownership in Ghana is referred to as a lease, and there's different rules for Ghanaians in terms of owning a property versus foreigners, right? I understand there's a 50 limit. 50-year lease limit on land, and what happens after that 50-year lease expires, and also too, I understand you can renew it, and also too, if you don't renew it, what happens? Your property just disappears, and maybe you can explain the lease for foreigners versus the lease for Ghanaians in terms of 50 years. What happens after 50 years for each? So that's the first question. And then the second question is, Tap to Send, is a very reliable way to send money. When are we going to be able to use it to purchase houses? So perhaps maybe you can add a feature that we can purchase a house using Tap Send in the future. Let me know if that's possibly in the cards.
Okay.
Those 2 questions.
So, Dalton,
Thanks.
your first question is going to go to Feel Good. Your second question, Dr. David is going to come in and answer that. Then we go back to Collins to ask his question for Feel Good. So, Phil.
Okay, so the first question in terms of the lease, right? So really, most lands are leased. There are few that are freehold. So the freehold doesn't really have an expired term on it, right? Those are very far in between. Okay, so that is why most of the time we refer to the lease ones, because that is what most of the case you get. So the lease, yes, there is a term limit for foreigners. Of course, Ghanaians have to enjoy some benefits, right? So that one, to me, it's fair. So if you're a Ghanaian, you get the maximum amount of lease. If you're a foreigner, you get up to 50 years. So in terms of when it expires, the new Land Act says that the occupant of the land have the first option to renew the lease, right? Or to re-engage and then continue to occupy. So the law provides that if I'm occupying the land at this point, before it expires, just like renting anything else, before it expires, you engage the owner, let the owner know of your interest. So my lease expires in 3 months, whatever, and I would like to renew. And at that point, you engage in renegotiation with the owner, right? So that is how it starts. You re-engage with the owner. If you are not satisfied, either party is not satisfied with the terms, then you go to arbitration, right? And of course, they will consider the current state, what is going on, all of that. Different dynamics goes into play. And then they will determine what is the fair market value for you to pay for the land, right? So that is how it is done. And at that point, if both parties or either party is not satisfied, then you go through the court system. But those are the layers provided in the law to protect that.
So let me understand this right. So if there's a house in I don't know, on 20 acres, and I buy the house on 20 acres, I'm not really buying that house. I'm just leasing it.
You are leasing it.
What do you mean? Like, let's say the guy owns the property and he actually wants to sell it. So if I'm a foreigner, I cannot buy it. I can only lease it, and he continues to own it.
So whether you're a foreigner or a Ghanaian, you are still leasing.
But who actually owns the property?
So the property, most of the lands in Ghana are vested in families, right?
But let's say the family wants to sell the property. Can they not sell it? Is that not permitted?
So we don't. Right. So those that are leased lands are not technically sold. They are given to you for a period of time.
Yes, I understand. So let's say I want to buy something, not lease it. So you're saying it's going to be distinguished. So if there's property that's leasing for a certain price, it will say lease. If property that's for sale, it will actually be for sale, right? There's a distinct.
So
there's a distinguished. It's distinguished, right?
Sale is used generically. Like the word for sale is used generically. So if I'm selling properties right now, I'll tell you that it's for sale. Okay.
If even though you're leasing it.
Yes, because I'm still selling you for a period of time. So it's
but
still
how can
selling.
that not be a problem then? Because if I'm buying a car, I know when I'm buying it, right? Versus when I'm borrowing it. So a lease is like you're paying to borrow it, and a purchase is.
So when we enter into negotiation, you realize that you have it for this X period of time. So now that is a good point. Anytime you buy any land, house, whatever, you want to ask the question: how many years is on the lease?
So Phil, let me make this point real quick. Okay, Dalton. Last 2 weeks, we met with lawyer Nana Bosu, right? Chiche, and he explained. And I'm gonna send you the link to what we talked about, and I think that will give you a vivid understanding.
No, I was on that call. This is where that question comes from. Because okay. I'm trying to
I'm glad that you were on it, right? So this is what happens in Ghana: lands that belong to the chiefs or a group of ethnicity are not sold, but they actually kind of lease it out to you, because there is a local adage that goes that lands are not, you cannot buy lands. I actually give you out the land for you to have the land. So technically you cannot take the land from them. So 99 years or depending on how many years that is left on it. So, and I think, like you say, you were honest. So he broke it down. When you go out for a land that is 99 years that is left on the land, or maybe somebody used 20 years of the land, so now you have 76 years or 79 years left of the land. And there are lands that belongs technically to chiefs or maybe any group of people, but belongs to somebody that been had it, and it's been trickled down from the family. Those lands sells outright. And due to the fact that those lands sells outright is different. Now, there are even some lands in Ghana, right? Like especially in the rural areas, you cannot even buy and make it as a development. You can't even build houses on it. Those lands are called farm lands, and you can only buy them and use them for farming purposes, or maybe any agro or rearing animals or anything like that. But when you decide to build a residence on it and don't have any farm around it at all, they will stop you, because those lands are not meant to be inhabited as a main source of residence. But if you do have a farm and you want to build a residence on it, which is called a farmhouse, technically you are in the right. But if you decide not to have any farm at all and just build, then that becomes a problem. Those lands are kind of handled differently. So there's three different lands.
So I guess based on what you're saying, I have to look for a property that's for sale, that's freehold, right? Then I actually own it, right?
Yes, but but the chances of you getting that is about 10% of those lands.
I know, but that's what I would have to look for.
Yes, if you're looking for
Okay,
that.
and then once I purchase it, I own it forever.
Yes,
The freehold, yes.
yes, the freehold.
Okay, great. Thanks for that clarification.
Okay.
And then my
Your second question,
question-
David is going to answer your second question that we're going to call upon Collins to ask his question. So, David, do you mind? So, Dalton's question, I don't know if you want me to rephrase it or you got it.
Now, please rephrase it. Sorry,
So, Dalton was asking, is there any system that TapTapSend have so that we can actually purchase properties back home in Ghana? Dalton, was that your question?
Yeah, that's right. When's TapTapSend gonna have a purchase home feature?
Yeah.
that would be an amazing feature. I think clearly we're going to have to call Feel Good Homes to do the full integration for us. But currently, as it stands, I think our core focus is making sure that we help people send money back home. As far as additional features, it's not the fact that you cannot build it. Our license does not permit for us to do certain acts, right? We have a license for us to send money from the West to Sub-Saharan Africa and Southeast Asia, right? So I would like to say it's on the roadmap. That would be a generic lie, but that's not the truth. At the moment, we don't have that feature. We just focused on creating the best service we can in remittance. But no, we cannot. Just talk to Feel Good, man. He'll take care of you. Just talk to Feel Good. You can just buy a house from him directly. At the moment, we don't have that feature, Dalton. It will be nice though. It will be a great feature.
All right.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Thank you.
Right.
Collins. Collins, we're ready for your question. If not, let me read this from Sonia. Sonia said, "Thank you for this program. I like it. This is so helpful to make money and also to know where to put your money." Sonia, that's a great, response. How do I update my card on? That's from Kwesi iPhone. How do I update my card on TapTapSend? We're gonna come to that probably in the next 5 minutes. And also, Ed asks, "Can you negotiate a clause on the renewal from the I can't read this from start rather than wait until close of the date of renewal?" That's a good question, Phil.
If what it is that I think the lawyer last time used the legal term, but what it means to us is I cannot give what I don't have, right? So if you're buying from me and I only have 70 years left on the lease, I can only give you 70 years. If you're buying from the owners, right, and then you want to negotiate, yes, that one you can. And it's whatever you negotiate with them. So maybe I'm paying for this, and then when it expires in 50 or 70 years, this is what the conditions will be, whatever, then you do it, right? So that is a negotiation between the two of you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Whilst we wait on Collins, the Collins is not ready right now. Does anybody have any question, please do so. Raise your hand. Let's talk. Because we have 5 minutes that we have to turn over to TapTapSend for the Q&A part of it. But before that, whilst we're waiting, I just dropped a link. On Zoom, and I'm gonna put that link on Facebook and YouTube as well. Please, that is our chat room, His Royal Empire family chat room. That is where we do all the discussions, the talks, and also ask people, like people brings ideas, what topic they want to hear or they want us to treat. So please, I indulge everybody to click on that link. And once you click on the link, automatically adds you to the chat room. And let's be more interactive over there. Let's talk more about what we want to hear, what we want to talk about. Because I think another thing that somebody asked Director David and they want us to treat is about immigration process again sometime, next week or something like that. And we know that next month is breast cancer awareness. So we're going to be bringing some, people on board to talk about breast cancer and also how well to take care of ourselves when it comes to breast cancer as well. Actually, Dr. Stephen Watson took upon himself to come and help us, and we're gonna get a sister of Majin Michelle, who is also a breast cancer survivor and does a lot of campaign in the United States and Ghana, to also come and just throw some light on it for our women, because without our women we cannot function right. So we will need that. Phil, since We don't have any more
Yes.
questions because it looks like you broke everything down perfectly. And, Dalton question also came in handy. Can you just round it up and just give us your final closeout statement? Then we can go ahead and just draw the curtains on this part so that we can dive deep into the Q&A session of Startup Sen.
Most definitely. Most definitely. So you were talking about breast cancer. I just want to drop a word. It's not just for women. Men also can have breast cancer. So
Hey,
let's
are you serious?
beware. Yeah. So that is on that.
But
Back
we don't
to
have
our
breast. So
real
how do we have breast cancer? Hey, right now with the new world. Okay, now I get it.
No. It has nothing to do with the new world. You have that area, right? So yes, men
So-
also do get.
So
can get
that would be chest cancer, right?
No, it's breast cancer.
Hey, sorry.
For real, it's breast cancer. Men also do get breast cancer. So on the real estate part, right? So when we posted the flyer, there was someone that asked a question of you have something that's, usually when we buy land, we build something small to protect it, or you have a good size of property on there, but then you just want someone to stay on there, take care of the compound and all of that. How do you go about it? So there's something called squatters beware or buyers beware. And in this case, I would say beware of squatters, right? So we refer to them as squatters, but then they also do have a right. You have someone live on your property for so number of years, and then you come and they be like, okay, now move, I need my building. In some cases, they require that you resettle them, you pay them, you take care of them, something, because they've used those years to take care of your property. So the best advice is that please lease it to them or rent it to them, right? So it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what the price is. You may not need the money for anything, but then at some price. And then whatever terms you want to have with the individual, you have with them, and then it should all be in the agreement, right? So I have this property here. I want you to take care of it. These are your responsibilities. Therefore, I'm renting to you at 50 Ghana cedis a month for 1 year. Every year you renew. When the time is up and you do need your space, you just provide the person with notice that, hey, I do need my space and I would now like to renew the lease at the end of it. It comes to an end, all parties are happy, everybody moves on. If not, and then you just have someone sit on there, what we call Shesumami Fono, right? Someone just sits on there as a caretaker and then take care of your property. Then it's also assumed that they took care of your property, so you should also compensate them.
Okay.
Right. So that is on that part. Then finally, to sum it all up.
No, hold on. Before you sum it all up, please. Two more questions
Uh-huh.
before you sum it all up, so they can add it to it. Joe Boy App says, "Is there any equity on houses in Ghana? If so, what's the percent? What's the rate? What's the percentage rate per year?" So that is from Joe Boy. And that question, the next question is, if somebody maybe buys a unit from you and let's say hand over the property to their generation, when the 99 years is up and you go through the negotiation, or maybe whoever is there go through the negotiation, how does that work? Now that I'm buying a unit from you and there's like, this is intertwined with or in conjunction with Dalton's question. So now that I buy a property from you in 99 years, or maybe whatever years left on the land, if my kids are having the property, maybe your kids are having those property right now, when the negotiation goes through, how do I get my units? Because my unit is on the land that you bought from, or
Right.
whoever you bought from.
Okay. So I renegotiate, and then I renegotiate with the owners or whoever I bought it from, right? And then whoever is on the land or have an interest in the property also negotiates with me. You see what I'm saying? So once I renegotiate, yes, it will cover all of us, because everything on the land then it becomes covered. But then the tenant or whoever has interest also in it will have to negotiate with the property developers at that time.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Okay. And then Joe Boy's question was,
Equity and the rate.
So yes, properties appreciate in value all the time, and that's what I started by saying that I'm yet to hear property market crash in Ghana, right? So since I started following, or since Menifie, I've always seen a rise in property value in Ghana. The part of how much per year will be tough to answer because it depends on which area, what kind of property you're looking at. There are too many dynamics that goes into it that it will be difficult to tell you that it goes up 5, 10, 15, or 20, 30%. I've seen some go up as high as 100, right? And I'm talking about land, like some 200%, 300%. So really, it depends.
Okay.
Sorry, Dalton here. You mean the leases go up in value? Is that correct? Or you're actually talking about property ownership goes up? Which one is going up in
No,
value?
I think his question was about property equity. So I'm talking about properties. And when I said land, I'm referring to like I bought a land 3-4 years ago, and right now it's gone up in price 300%.
The lease of the land, or you actually own the land? Which one?
Either one. Are you asking whether the land that I bought was leased or freehold?
Yeah, because you said property is going up in value, and from what my question was all about is you just can lease the land majority of time. So what that tells me is you're saying the lease is actually going up in value, or the property, or the person who owns the property. Which one?
Both.
Okay, so I have bought the land at this point, whether leased or freehold. I have.
But that matters. That matters, though.
No, I'm trying to answer the question, though. Dalton, give me a second.
Yeah, but I'm saying it matters whether it's freehold and you own it, or you're just leasing it. That matters, though. That's all I'm telling you. Because if you're leasing the land and it goes back after 50 years, it's not yours. So there's nothing for it to go up because it's never yours in the first place. If you own it, I can understand.
But then at this time, I have the interest in it. The original owners don't have the interest in it right now. So if it goes up, it's my benefit. It's not theirs at this point.
So when you're saying when your lease is over, you get the money back? Is that what you're saying?
No. So I'm answering a question, Pearl, right? We asked that, does properties in Ghana become equitable or gain equity? And I'm saying yes. Even with lands, I've seen it going up 200, 300%. Now you're asking whether that land is a freehold or a leased land, correct?
That's right.
And
because if I
lease,
because just to give you a context, if I lease the land for $100,000, right, for 50 years, it can't. After 50 years, do I get my $100,000 back, or does my $100,000 just disappear? Or let's say I have it for 25 years and I decide I no longer want the lease. Do I just walk away, or can I sell that lease for now 25 for 50,000? Or like that's what I mean. Like what is actually going up? Because if I cannot, majority of properties I'm leasing,
good.
What is actually going up?
Dalton, feel good. I think Dalton is taking the lease term literally, just like the lease terminology that we use in America. I think that is where his confusion is coming from. So Dalton, let me give you a typical example, right? I bought a land about 14 years ago for $8,000. The land right now is worth $35,000, right? That land, I can sell it to whoever is interested in that land for $35,000 and walk away. And that 35
But that's freehold, right?
No, it's not freehold.
No.
My land is leased, and he feel good knows about it. So I can sell that land for $35,000. Now, when I bought the land, if it was let's say it was 90 years lease, right, on the land, and it's 14 years right now. For the betterment of this argument, let's say 15 years. Actually, it's 15 years because it's 2008. It's 15 years ago. So 15 years ago, I bought it for $8,000. If I sell this land right now, this land has 75 years on the land, and I'm selling for $35,000. If you buy that land from me, it becomes yours.
Yes.
I walk away with my $35,000, and there's no issue, there's no problem. Now you own
And
that
how long
land.
do I get
Hold on. You have the land worth $35,000 for 75 years. After 75 years, if that land is not sold and you're not alive, you can will that land to your son or to whoever you want to will it to. And that dependent can also negotiate when the 75 years is up. Once they do the negotiation of the land and they decided to keep the land, they keep it and they get another 99 years on it again. The clock restart. The lease terminology used over here is not like going to a Mercedes dealership to go lease a car and just use it, but you don't own it. You can't will that car. But these properties or this land, you can will it. It's actually yours. The reason why they use the word lease is because of culture and traditional purposes. You cannot own a land due to it's an old African adage, and I don't know how to, break that to you in English. Maybe I can say it in Chi, and maybe Figu can say it.
No, I understand what you say. Makes perfect sense. I understand that.
Exactly. So yes, it's yours. Like Dalton, I can go to Ghana with you, right, and buy a land and put your name on it. This is my friend Dalton. We've been friends for so long. He was very good to me when I was in the States. I want to dash him a land, and I do a change of ownership in your name for 99 years. Dalton, you can will that back to your kids, and nobody can take it away from your kids. But still, it's called lease, just for the purposes of land. That is the only time the term lease is different in Ghana. The rest of the term lease, like Feel Good has a unit that he's leasing in one of his units. That is not the same as leasing the land. You lease this, it's like renting an apartment.
Okay.
So with his lease on his apartment to people is just like the lease that you were talking about. But leasing the land means that because of the traditional rulers, because don't forget the Ghana is not like America. It's just like UK. They run under the monarchy, right? So basically, how to own the land in UK may not be the same way to own the land in the States, whereby you go buy a piece of land, it's yours for life. And once you're done paying on it, like for instance, I remember when I first came to the States, right? I asked Phil, I was like, why is it that I buy a house and I paid it off cash, I still got to pay something on it every year? But in Ghana, if I buy a house from somebody, I don't pay the property tax on the house. It's mine, and I don't pay anything else on top of it. And she was like, that is the difference of the system. The system requires this, you do that. That system doesn't require it, you just don't do it. So it's the same system in Ghana. You buy a land, it's leased to you for 99 years. It tells you that the traditional rulers still have some sort of power. Okay, that is what it's called. He used the word called consume. If you consume means it's called digging fee. Before you put a hole or you put an excavator on your land to dig, you have to pay a traditional fee. And everybody does that. It's the business ethics of it. Not necessarily the legalities, but the ethics. Does that make sense?
Great. Thank you for explaining that. So back to my original question then. So let's say I'm a foreigner, I buy the land. The maximum lease, let's say, is 50 years, let's say. So after 50 years, if I do nothing, I don't renew, I don't do nothing, what happens to the property and what happens?
If you don't do anything, it goes back to the family. And I think, Phil, I don't think the land just go back to them automatically. I think they have to buy it from you. I think they have to.
It reverse. No, see, so with the new land law, right? You buy.
Phil, I think Braco Fipeso Akasa. I think Braco wanted to answer that.
All right. To answer that question, when your lease ends, it reverts back to the owner. Okay.
Correct.
However, the owner needs to give you the first right of buy or renewal. So the owner needs to give you the first right. So, and it needs to be at a discounted price at the carrying market value as well. So if your lease should end and the carrying market value at that time of the land is approximately 10,000, it might be discounted down to 7,000 for you to pay for another lease in this respect. However, if you choose not to renew your lease, then the owner will take ownership of the land. However, if you have a property on the land, then the owner, who the lease revert to, you also now need to sell your property to him at the market value as well.
Oh, so if I do nothing, technically I can lose the property?
You've lost the period of what you lease it for. Okay.
And my
so
equity.
equity in which respect? So let me give you a typical example. A typical
So
example
the
is
property is worth
let
$50,000, and
Mhm.
it renewed, and it's the 51st year, and I didn't renew it. So that goes back to, you said, the owner, let's say, right, of the property, and
Yes.
I'm not around, let's say. He
Mhm.
can just take the property, sell it, and then keep the money. Is that the case?
No, that is not the case. What it means here is that if you have a property on it, you don't want to renew the lease, okay? Normally, the renewal of the lease is not a harsh one. It's not like going to buy the land to start with. Okay, it's a negotiation that needs to go on. But the documented strategy or way to go about it is that you need to buy from that person at a discounted rate of the market value. Okay. However, if you have a property on it and you say that, I'm not interested in this to renew my lease with you, okay? However, I just want to walk away, and you have a property on it, you will now buy that property of you also at a discounted rate.
Okay, I understand. So when we
Okay, so if anything, a typical example that I want to give to you is that I don't know what you do, okay, in the States. For example, if you go and lease a shop, so normally you may see on the high street or downtown streets and all sorts of things, and they have shop for lease, shop for rent. They are two different things. If you rent a shop, you normally will be paying your monthly rent on it. When you lease it, you have the authority to modify a lot of things within the building. So technically, you take ownership of that building for that 10 years of leasing the shop. Okay. However, when your lease is over and you want to move on and you don't want to renew again, you could either take down everything that you have in that shop. Okay. So if I have mirrors over there fitted, I have chairs fitted, maybe I was using it for a barbering shop. Okay. I could take everything in that barbering shop, bring it down to where I had it, and walk out with it. Okay. And the landlord or the building owner have got no right to stop me from taking all my property that I invested in there away with me. Okay. However, in the Ghanaian context, because it's a building that you cannot actually uproot it and just move with it, yeah, so he needs to pay you for it. But the key thing is that this concept of leasing started not too long ago. So we really haven't got to that point that somebody may say that, my lease is due and I need to go and do it. I think it just started maybe around 30, 40 years ago. And even that was even a lot of properties are now being gone into lease because there are some lands that are like I have in Ghana. There is no lease. There wasn't any lease on it at that time.
Okay. Well, thanks for the
And,
history lesson. That's very
and
important.
yeah, and nowadays you need to be careful about that lease because, for example, I know some location in Ghana, they have bought it and they are leasing it out to people. Okay. However, if you should go and buy from that group of business, you should be careful to read the lease. Because if I'm building a property and I have a lease of maybe 99 years, I could choose to lease it to you for 40 years. I don't have to give it to you for the 99 years. I can choose to give it to you for the 40 years. And you may presume that, oh, I've just bought it, so my lease is going to be 90 years. And you just pay that market value for it. However, under 40 years, I could come back to you and say that, your lease is over and we need to renegotiate. Although, and this is where it gets a bit tricky. If my lease is maybe I had a property or a land whereby my lease is 60 years. Okay, and thank God I was able to live to see that 60 years. And you were also able to live to see that 60 years. I need to go and renew my lease and come and release it to you.
Okay, I imagine this can get very complicated because people die, people go missing, people move away. But I hear you. Okay, then. So in terms of renewal
Dalton,
fees.
Dalton,
The renewal fee, let's say it's 100 grand, is it about 1% or 500 CD? Like, what is the renewal cost approximately percentage wise?
Dalton.
And second
If-
question,
Go
ahead.
Rich,
A quick answer
Rich,
to
Rich,
him.
Rich, Rich.
Quick answer to him.
Okay.
Yes.
But before you answer the question, yeah, I want to make a quick announcement. So Dalton, after he answers this question, he's gonna put his number in the chat room, so you can contact him for consultation 101, and just and this is not just you, for anybody who wants to contact them for any extra because we have gone way beyond our time, and we still have to do time with Tatop Sen, and my producer is on the time crunch, so we have to do that, and I have to beg him for like extra 15-20 minutes to walk into time with Tatop Sen. So please and please and please, after this question, this answer, I would like for them to put their contact information in there. Contact them for consultation, or if you take my number on the screen, I can just send that number to you. Or even in the chat room that we had, I'll just put the number there. You just get the 101, and that is not just you, for anybody. You can get that 101 with them, and I bet you they will give you all the details. It is a very important topic. That's why we brought it, because it was suggested to be brought to you guys for the. So we might bring it again for the second time. But like I'm saying, just for the purpose of getting your answers, all the answers, and they will have the time to go over that with you. So he's gonna answer this quick, and then Feel Good is gonna give us his final words, and we're just gonna close this so that we can get into the Q&A session.
Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, so what it could be now is that it will be at a discounted rate, okay, and that could be down to maybe around 60 to 80% of the market value.
Okay.
And as I said, it's all down to negotiation.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Rich, thanks very much for coming on board. So that is the CEO of Real Shala Homes, and they're having a discount going on this December, $40 a night in East Legon Hills, Adjungano, and its environs. All right, so Feel Good. Final words, quick, in 30 seconds. Then we can go ahead and just call it down on Facebook and YouTube. Then everybody else can meet us on Zoom so that we ask all the questions for Top Set.
All right, so for the interest of time, I'll just sum up by saying that it's still very viable to invest in Ghana, and it's still a good investment option. If you want to build, contact us. We'll take care of you. If you're going to Ghana, want somewhere to stay, hit us up, and we'll take care of you. Thank you.
And Phil, please do me a favor. Can you put your contact information on all our 3 Facebook platforms, Tatop Sen Ghana, and also HITV and PK for Essence, as well as our YouTube, HITV, so that people can contact you whenever they need hold of you guys. Thank you. Dr. David, final words for Phil to sign him out.
Phil, thank you so much. I think clearly there's Mr. Dalton was not fully answered. Dalton, we haven't forgotten about you. I think we can pick up on another session. But thanks for coming, Phil. I know you're on call, but yeah, thanks for coming.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we draw the curtains for Time with Tatop Sen on the property investment. And I can say this has been a very wonderful discussion with all the questions coming from East and West and North and South, just to make sure that people understand what they're getting themselves into. This is what we're here for. This is what Tatop Sen has produced us, to get you the right information and make sure that you are well informed and you well equipped, getting yourself involved in things that happens in Ghana and goes on in Ghana, and not being blindsided by what is going on in terms of investing in properties. And so big thank you to Dr. Feelgood for coming around and just making us have all this information, and also supported by his big brother Richard for all the insights. Thank you guys for making this happen, and we will talk to you guys and see you guys again whenever the demand and the call comes through. Please, their numbers are on all the social media handles: Tatop Sen Ghana, HITV, PK for Essence, and also HITV on YouTube as well. So please make sure you get the number and also contact them for any private and personal consultation. At this point, I urge each and everyone to just meet us on Zoom whilst we talk about Tatop Sen. Any questions, any concerns, any contributions, any good vibes, any applause, please. We're ready and welcoming all that right now on Zoom. So I'm going to hand over to Dr. David as he take over. But please do not forget, I put the WhatsApp chat room on the all the platforms, including Zoom. just join. I see some people joining already. Please just join the fraternity so that we can all, brainstorm on the next topic to bring and what you would like to hear. So that'll be a good place to also be a part of, so that we can all have some discussions going on as well. And they are all my resource personnel are all on the platform as well. Thank you guys, and thank you Facebook and YouTube.
Will we automatically be transferred into here?
No, click on the link. When you click on the link, it will take you over there. I sent the link earlier
Okay.
on. Look at it. One that says HATP chat WhatsApp. So when you look at the chat room. When you click on it, it will take you over there. If you're on Facebook and YouTube, it's on there too as well. So thank you guys.
Okay,
Thank you Facebook. Thank you YouTube for being a very astute viewers and sticking with us throughout this whole time. Thank you, producer and the Lord, for sticking out. I know you're on the time crunch and we've exhausted. And also thank you, Tatop Sen, for letting us extend this a little bit as well. And thank myself for making this happen. Thank you, the viewers, for making this a prolific one.